So for today's class, you're going to want at least one block and a strap, or something that could double as a block and a strap. So maybe a towel, book, any kind of hard surface that you can rely on and press into to take the place of a block. We want to maybe sit up on something, maybe a block, maybe a pillow to start with, so that we can get the hips a little more open, release the hip flexors, sit more comfortably. And then we'll sit tall and close our eyes and start to deepen your breath in through your nose and out through your nose. And let the breath get a little throaty on the exhale. Let there be a texture to your breath and a resonance to the breath. In fact, you want to hear your exhale. Imagine that your rib cage at the very bottom of the rib cage was like the bottom of an umbrella. And just as an umbrella will open out in all directions, you want to feel that the bottom of the rib cage expands out in all directions on each breath in. So you feel an expansion into the front ribs, the side ribs, and the back ribs each time you take a breath. And just to ground that a little bit, let's bring the hands lightly to the rib cage, to the side ribs. Not really applying any pressure, but feel your breath press out into your palms, right? So feel the ribs expand out into your palms as you breathe in. And then see if breath by breath, you can exaggerate that a little bit more. And then feel the ribs knit back together, and then feel the belly muscles knit back together on each exhale. As a consequence, the fingers draw in towards one another each time you breathe in, or each time you breathe out. And then bring your hands down. And we're going to take a version of cat-cow from seated. So on the inhale, you'll send your chest forward, lift your chin up, send your tailbone back behind you. And as you exhale, you'll round in, tuck your chin in towards your chest, pull the belly in. It's just like cat-cow. Inhale to lift, and exhale to round. And the breath is just as deep as it was as we were just sitting there with our eyes closed. But now there's movement. So don't get so involved with the movement that you lose the breath. And you have a little bit more freedom here. Instead of cat-cow with the hands down, you have that much more freedom in the upper body. So you might even involve the arms a little bit more. And start to exaggerate the rolling into the shoulders. You can let it be kind of weird. You can let it get free form. And then start to move in any direction. So just like we do normally in cat-cow, if you want to start to move side to side, forwards and backwards, any little movements that are going to start to free up some space in your low back, in the mid-back, even into the shoulders. So whatever feels good, just move around a little bit. And the more dynamic the movement, the better. Your mind will want to start to create patterns and be like, okay, we're going in circles now. But the body's going to crave more of that healthy, well-rounded, dynamic movement. So you don't have to get set in one pattern. And then we will come up to hands and knees. And you can set your support aside, and from hands and knees, continue to move. So now you might have access to different parts of the body. Right? You could come back to something like cat-cows, or you can let it be more loose than that. And then we'll come into a downward facing dog. Curl the toes under And now take this movement into the lower body. So bend into your knees, twist into the hips, get into your low back, and start to pay attention to the feet a little bit more. And staying in touch with that nice strong breath. So every once in a while, take a big exhale. And from here, we'll step the feet together in down dog. We'll meet up a bit, and then take the right leg high. Bend your knee, roll your hip open. And bend and straighten the standing leg a couple times. Just grounding, activating and grounding into that standing leg. Maybe that allows for you to take the right leg a little higher. Big inhale, spiraling your chest open as well. And then downward facing dog, and we'll take the other side, left leg high. Bend your knee, roll your hip open, and then play around. Downward dog. We're going to round at the shoulders and draw yourself forward towards a high plank. Now you might pause in high plank and even things out. If the low back is okay, you might swoop towards an upward dog. And whether you're in high plank or an upward dog, pike at the hips now, roll back to down dog. So inhaling, rounding the shoulders, rolling forward like there's a wave through the body, high plank or up dog. And piking the hips to roll back. So we're inhaling to come forward, and we're exhaling to go back. And then look to the front of your mat. Walk or jump to the front of your mat. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Let's take the feet wide. Bend the knees either a little bit or a lot. We want some kind of bend in the knees. And then hands will interlace at the back of your neck. Let your elbows drop in. Let your head hang down. And maybe you sway side to side a little bit to loosen up into the low back. And as you're here, as you rock the weight in your feet from one foot to the other, see if you can start to wake up through the soles of the feet, get more and more sensitive down through the feet. Like you're waking up all these little nerve endings. Notice the ground beneath you. Release your hands. We'll come up towards standing. Reach up and reach back. And then interlace your hands at the back of your head. And as you drop your head back into your hands, try to lengthen the back of the head up away from the hips as well. And so it doesn't have to be a big back bend, just creating space at the back of the neck as you go. Big inhale. And then exhale, release back. Inhale, flat back. Step back, high plank. Low plank. Up dog. And down dog. Breath in and out. Inhale. Exhale. Breath in. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward, walk or jump. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, flat back. High plank. Low plank. Upward dog. And downward dog. Breath in. Breath out. Breath in. Breath out. Breath in. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward, walk or jump. Inhale, flat back. Exhale to fold. Inhale, rise up, and maybe you reach reach a little higher, peel your chest open, exhale, bow. Inhale, flat back, high plank, low plank, up dog, and down dog. Breath in and breath out. With the body a little bit warmer now, see if you can roll your inner thighs back and then broaden your sitting bones. And get just a little bit more length maybe in the low back. Bend your knees a lot, look forward, walk or jump. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. One more, sun A. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, flat back. High plank. Low plank. Upward dog. Good. Downward facing dog. Take a big breath in. Exhale it out. Inhale. Exhale. Big breath in. As you exhale, bend your knees, look forward, walk or jump forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale to fold. And separate the feet. And now we're going to sweep the hands back behind us and interlace them. Let your head bow down. And if the shoulders aren't so forgiving here, just bend your elbows. We're going to save the strap for later, but just bend your elbows. You want this to feel more like an opening in your chest than a pulling on the shoulder joints. Drop your head down. And then release your hands and we'll come up to standing. This time as we come up, we'll hook our thumbs. And as you reach up and you reach back, try to pull the arms away from one another. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, bend your knees, pull the belly in, flat back. It's like a little crunch. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, belly in. And then from the hugging in of the belly, float the right leg back to a lunge. We'll take a moment here in the lunge to bend and straighten the front leg. You can bend and straighten the back leg too. We're warming up these big, strong muscles of the legs. And notice how the hips can easily turn out to the side. There's mobility in the hips. For stability, when we come up to crescent lunge, though, we're going to want to hug the thighs in towards one another, like we're trying to close the legs. Hug the legs in towards one another. Even feel like the skin is hugging to the muscle's hugging to the bone. Hook your thumbs as you reach up and you reach back. And then downward facing dog. Inhale to high plank. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Take a big breath in. Exhale it out. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, knee to your nose. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, knee to your nose. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, right foot between your hands. So again, hug the thighs in for stability. Crescent lunge, come up, hooking your thumbs. From here, we're going to step to the front of the mat and forward fold. So we're back at the beginning, so to speak, of this sequence. On the inhale, come up, hook your thumbs and open your chest. Exhale, bow down. Bend your knees, inhale, flat back. Exhale to fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale to fold. Inhale, flat back, float the left leg back. Crescent lunge, come up. And you can pulse a little bit into the legs here, so that same activation into the leg muscles. Maybe you bend and straighten the front leg. Maybe you bend and straighten the back leg. And then settle in towards center. Hands to the mat, down dog. High plank, low plank, up dog, and down dog. Left leg high on an inhale, exhale, knee to your nose. Inhale, left leg high, exhale, knee to your nose. Inhale, movement. It's kind of precise in that. So take a big inhale, exhale, release. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, bow. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, right foot back. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, right foot forward. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, step forward and bow. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, left foot back. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, left foot forward. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, step forward and bow. Let's keep going one more round. Inhale, come up. Lift your chest. Exhale and bow. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, right foot back. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, right foot forward. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, step forward and bow. Last side. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, flat back. Left leg steps back. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, left foot forward. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, step forward and bow. And take a big breath in. Exhale, release your arms. Maybe a little sway, side to side. Just hang. And then from here, Utkatasana. Sit back and reach up. And just as we did in the very beginning of class, where we were sitting and we brought our hands to the ribs, you're going to do that here. So sitting in Utkatasana, first, try to iron the back bend out. Right? So instead of being in a back bend, we're going to drop the tailbone down and lift the low belly up. Right? So get a nice amount of support through the lift of Uddiyana Bandha. And then reaching up, start to deepen your breath. You might even close your eyes for this to really focus on the power, the strength of the breath. Right? Ujjayi breath means victorious breath. So there's nothing meek about it. Right? You want to be bold with the breath. And then maybe even with the eyes still closed, bring your hands to your ribs and feel how powerful your inhale is. Feel the inhale rise out into your palms. And then keep breathing in this way, but reach the arms up. You can even open your mouth. And you might just sit back a little lower. Bring your hands to your heart, take a big inhale. Exhale, twist. Okay, so you can stay here in the twist. And if you're going to deepen the twist here, you'll drop your hips and you'll lift your chest. You could open your arms if you want. And if you want to take a side crow, bring the hands down. See if you can lay your thigh bone, your right thigh bone, onto the backs of your arms. And then it's just a matter of tilting forward until the feet come up off the ground. Just a matter of that. It's easy. Just kidding. Takes some time, but it's worth trying. Right? And then come back to a forward fold. Grab your big toes for Padangusthasana. Lengthen your spine, and then exhale, fold in. So I don't mean to make the arm balances sound simple. They definitely take a lot of time and precision and practice. Something like side crow probably shouldn't happen overnight and won't, for the most part. But it's nice to try to keep the spirit of playfulness, even when trying those postures. Right? So we can give them a shot. We can maybe fall. The nice thing about crow and side crow is that we tend to be pretty close to the ground already, so there's not too far to go. Things like headstand, if you're not familiar with them, I wouldn't necessarily try at home on your own unless you feel like you have a really strong foundation for them. But some of the arm balances, sure, play with pressing your hands into the ground and see where you get. Part of it's just building that communication between your brain and your hands. You have so much familiarity with sending those signals from your feet to your brain and back, not so much with the hands in that weight bearing capacity. So anyways, from the forward fold, let's release. Let's come back to Utkatasana. Get that same lift of the low belly. Hands to your heart. Take a big breath in. Exhale, twist over to the left. So you can stay here and just deepen the twist. This is a good place to kind of marinate. Feel the breath, feel the strength in the legs. And then if you want, you just bring the hands down, the fingers point away from you, and you try to get the left thigh bone onto the backs of the arms. And maybe you lift the feet up. Maybe not. You can play with it. And then forward fold when you're done. This time Padahastasana, so the hands will go underneath the soles of the feet. And again, we'll inhale to lengthen the spine and exhale, fold in. And you might stay in the forward fold. This might feel like a really good place to be. Another option would be to come, after a few breaths, come into Malasana, squat. So you bring the feet wide apart, bring the hips down, palms together. And if you want, you can take Bakasana, crow pose, maybe even Bakasana into tripod. So Bakasana would be bringing the hands down, bringing the shins to the backs of the arms. It's helpful to look forward. And then maybe you start to lift the feet. If you're going to come into tripod, you'll bring your head down. And maybe start to take the feet up. And bring yourself back. We'll just bring the feet down, if they're up. And either way, we'll bring the hips up. So we're all in a forward fold at the front of our mat together. And just bow. Relax the sides of your neck. And then from here, we'll sweep all the way up. Inhale, reach up, reach back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back to high plank. Low plank. Up dog. And down dog. And feet together. Take your right leg high, bend your knee, roll your hip open. And you'll stay here or you'll flip your dog. Hips lift, chest lifts. You might even take this into a wheel. Come on back. High plank. Feet together. Heels to the right. Vashisthasana, side plank. Maybe you take the top arm overhead and lift the hips a little more. High plank to low plank. Upward dog and downward dog. Big breath in. Exhale it out. Left leg high. Bend your knee, roll your hip open, and then see where this takes you. And it might be different every day. My shoulders are a little bit different every day, depending on whether I've been on a computer for most of the day or doing yoga most of the day before. High plank. Feet together, heels to the left, or you can drop the left knee. And maybe you take the top arm overhead. Take the hips higher, and then high plank to low plank with precision, upward dog and downward dog. Take a big breath in, exhale it out. So let's give the shoulders a little pause. Bring the knees down, take the feet wide apart, or take the knees wide apart, big toes together. We're gonna take the right arm high on an inhale, open up the chest, and then exhale, reach underneath your body, threading the needle. You can press down into your left hand or wrap the left arm up and around your back. Nice deep breath, close your eyes, and try to emphasize your exhales. So there's an overall feeling of letting go. And come on back to center. And take the left arm high on an inhale. And exhale, reach through. And find what feels best on this side. So you want to bit by bit spiral on this side, at least the right shoulder back. Softening the backs of the shoulders. And then come on back to center. We're going to walk the knees in towards one another. And then come up onto your knees. We're going to stretch the arms up, and it might even feel nice to reach up through one side and then the other side. See if you can create some space between your hips and your rib cage, and drop the tailbone down. Lift the pubic bone and the low belly up. So what we're finding is neutral alignment, and that's not just relaxed alignment. Relaxed alignment tends to stick the tailbone out. We want to find a nice long low back. And then we're going to take the elbows out to either side. Drop your elbows back and lift your chest. And breathe. For 3. And 2. And 1. Bring the hands down to hands and knees, and we'll take cat pose. So round the back, pull the belly in, tuck your chin in, and you might even come up onto the fingertips to encourage this rounding a little bit more through the shoulders. Big inhale. And exhale. We'll come back to a downward facing dog. From downward dog, take your right leg high on an inhale. Exhale, right foot between your hands. We're going to take the block or support and take it underneath your left hand. And then we'll peel open into a twist to the right side. And I like to get a little pulsing up and down into the legs to free up my low back. You might bend the top arm to peel the right side of the rib cage open a little bit more. And then release, and we'll walk all the way over to the left. So we'll actually turn around so it's a little easier to see where we're going. So we're going to turn to the side of the mat, and we'll end up in a wide leg stance. So the toes are in and the heels point out. And lengthen your spine, and then exhale to forward fold. And you can hang here, you could reach for the outsides of your feet. If you wanted to come into a tripod headstand, if you're familiar with that, this would be a good place for that. So bringing the head down and the hands down, and starting to lift the feet. If you're in the forward fold, you want to rock the weight forward towards the balls of your feet and let the heels get a little lighter. Think of leaning into the fold a little bit more. And then we'll release whatever we're holding and start to bend into one knee, bend into the other, just to kind of cat-like stretch. Your upper body can go with you if you want. It can be as deep or as kind of as shallow of a bend as you'd like, as feels good. And then we're going to walk our hands over towards the left foot. And we want to pick the left heel way, way up. This is important. Pick the left heel up. So you're just on like the ball of the foot, the toes. That's the only way we're going to sit onto it. So we're going to sit onto the left heel. Right toes spin up. Our thigh bones are at a 90-degree angle, and we're gonna walk out at the 45-degree angle. So you're gonna walk your hands out in between your thigh bones, sink your hips back as you reach out and reach forward. Good, and then turn towards the front of your mat. The pose kind of stays the same, you just turn forward, and we'll come into a half virasana. So the left knee is bent, and the heel is to the outside of the hip. For a lot of us, this is not going to happen without sitting onto a block to take some of the pressure out of the knee. Right? So the block will go under both hips. And even still, for some of us, this is going to be really uncomfortable, especially if you had any kind of knee surgery. So in that case, you skip it, and you just come into Janu, so you're going to bring the left foot to the inside of the right thigh. So whatever variation you have, you can stay upright. If you have a block, you want to stay upright. And if you don't have the block, you can start to go back. So this is by design going to stretch the group of muscles that we call the quad. So even though the tendency is sometimes to puff up into a back bend, we actually want to do the opposite. You want to see if you can flatten a little bit. You want to tuck the belly in, look towards your navel, and you'll feel that then, right, then you're getting the stretch at the top of the quad. Right? To go into a back bend releases the top of the quad. And if you go all the way back, take opposite hand to opposite elbow. And then we'll come up. And the feet kind of stay where they are. We're just going to crawl ourselves forward to a lunge and bend and straighten that left knee a couple times to realign it. And then from here, we'll take standing split left leg high. You can stay here. You can start to take one hand around your standing ankle, maybe even taking both hands to balance. Take a big, big breath in. And as you exhale, we're going to bend both knees, tuck the left knee behind the right, and crouch down. Inhale the leg up. Exhale, bend. Inhale it up. Exhale, bend. Bring the left foot to the outside of the right foot. So the legs are crossed, and we forward fold. Bend the knees, take the left leg high again, standing split, and then bend the knees again, tuck the left knee behind the right, and we're going to sit all the way down, so we're going to twist with the right knee high. We'll bring the right hand back behind us, left arm can hook across the right thigh, and look back over your right shoulder. Sit a little taller, and twist a little deeper. And then come back to center. And we'll bring the hands down and we'll step back. You can either go right back to down dog or high plank, low plank, up dog, and down dog. Big breath in. Exhale it out. So we're going to take the other side. Turn. So from down dog, take the left leg high. Left foot between your hands. Right hand to a block. Left arm up to the sky. Find your twist. Peeling the left side of your chest open. And then release the left hand down. We're going to walk all the way over to the right. So we're in that wide leg stance. Toes turn in, heels turn out. And so you can stay here. Again, you can interlace your hands back behind you. You can grab the outsides of the feet. Or you might try Titivasana. Right? So walking the hands through the legs and then sitting back onto the backs of the arms and maybe lifting the feet. If you're in the forward fold, let the heels get a little lighter. And then release whatever you're holding. Bend one knee, bend the other. It's a little side lunge, side to side. And then walk your hands over to your right foot. We're going to pick the right heel way up, sit onto the right heel, and we'll walk out in between the thigh bones. And then turn towards the front of the mat. Half virasana. So any variation, maybe sitting onto a block, and maybe you take yourself back. And then coming forward to a lunge. Bend and straighten the right knee. So make sure it's back on line fully. And then we'll come to a standing split. Take your right leg high. Maybe balance. Or at least get light in the hands. And inhale. As you exhale, tuck the knee behind the left leg. Bend both knees. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, crouch in. Inhale, up. Exhale, crouch in, cross the feet. Forward fold. And then bend the knees. Take the right leg high and then inhale. Exhale, tuck the right knee in. Come to seated. And we'll twist. So the left hand back behind you. Look back over your left shoulder. Come on back to center. For this, we're just going to forward fold. Extend the legs out in front of you. This is a good place to grab the strap. So you can loop the strap around the balls of the feet. And then fold forward, being able to keep the length in the spine. So instead of rounding, instead of reaching, you can let the arms even be bent so the shoulder blades stay on the back. So there's a lengthening at the backs of the legs, the backs of the hamstrings, but not so much that we're pulling. There's no kind of yanking there. Just a nice balanced and measured stretch. And then release. And we'll lay back. Bring your feet flat for bridge pose. Press down into your feet. Lift your hips up. And then walk your shoulder blades underneath you. Maybe you interlace the hands as you press down into the feet. And keep the low back nice and long so your tailbone's extending towards the backs of your knees. And release down. And you can take another bridge pose or a wheel. Bringing the hands down for wheel. Pressing up. Either bridge or wheel for 5 breaths. 5. 4. See if you can let your breath get really loud. It's as though we've worked up to this point, right, to come into this big of a shape with the body. You want to clear out any old stale air. Maybe even lion's breath for the last few breaths, sticking your tongue out. Bring yourself down and drop the knees in together to touch. Feet out wide apart. Bring your hands to your low belly and close your eyes. And see if you can get your breath to rise up into your palms. So When we're breathing to our fullest capacity, the belly rises. When we're breathing in our most natural way to our fullest capacity, the diaphragm muscle extends down into the abdomen. And it creates the change in pressure in the lungs that invites in that big inhale. We don't often breathe that way. We tend to be holding the belly in, or tend to be kind of stressed and breathing shallowly, but here and now, really emphasize that. As you inhale, feel the belly rise. And as you exhale, open your mouth and send all the air out. And this is the way that babies breathe. It's so natural. It's really calming. It's a good place to close your eyes. And then bring the soles of your feet together, the knees out to each side. So Supta Baddha Konasana. And the arms can come up overhead, but keep breathing in that same way. Feel the inhale rise up into the belly. And then we'll bring the right knee over towards the left knee into a twist. You can even wrap the right leg up and over the left leg if you want to deepen that twist. And let the elbows slide out to either side. Twist. And close your eyes. And just like your whole body were putty, just relax back. And exhale by exhale, get even softer. Come back to center. We'll switch sides. So take the twist to the other side. If you wrap the legs, you can wrap the legs in the other direction. And then come back to center. And we'll take Shavasana. So extend your legs long. Let your arms relax. Palms face up. Close your eyes, and we'll be in this together. So you can just relax back. Notice the sensations in your body. Notice your breath. You might even just say something so simple in your mind like, I breathe in as I inhale, and I breathe out as I exhale. Let everything else fall away. in. Open your mouth, clear it out. Bring your thumbs to your forehead. And as a thank you to yourself and to each other, as we bow, we say namaste. Namaste.